game, but I think Test cricket will stay forever because once Test cricket goes down, then the game of cricket will also go down with that. So I don't think that the International Cricket Conference would allow that. I think if you see, I mean, we have 13 home Test matches now we are playing, and then if you see there are Test cricket has really totally changed from the 1993, 94 because if you see most of the games are you get results because like before when I went to Pakistan in '89 we played 4 Test matches, all the 4 Test matches were drawn. So nowadays, I mean, you hardly see any drawn Test match because you get a result. Well, maybe you can say that with the advent of T20 and playing more one-day games, I think the batsmen have become more aggressive. They score at a very brisk pace, even in the Test matches. Because I remember when I first played in '84, you know, like maximum score in a day was 190, 200. If it was 250, 300, like it was like, oh, really, you've done so well. But maximum people used to score runs like 190, 200 in a day, which was like very, very slow. But now it doesn't happen like that.
Yeah. Second question from somebody is, can leaving school and admitting into a sports academy, can be this a good career option?
Well, I think it's, I feel that, I mean, you should not leave school because education is the most important thing. Because when you are educated, even when you become a big sportsman or whatever, but what you learn in the school and college, I think it always stays with you. It always makes you humble because I think what you learn in school is people trying to tell you what is good and what is bad. Because if you see, I hate taking this example, but I have to take that because if you see, Maradona has always been one outstanding football player. But I think since he had no education, so I mean he just faltered, you know, he's gone into drugs, he's gone into so many different things. Well, if he had a good education, maybe even if a basic education, he would not do that. He would not do that because see, most of the sports persons who are not educated, you know, they tend to get into wrong habits and they get into drugs and drinks and all those things. So whatever they earn their name, because they're outstanding, brilliant players in their profession. But I think at the end of the day, that profession can last only for 10 years, 15 years or 16 years, maximum 20 years. After that, you are just another human being. So I think that is more important because people want to know you as a good human being also. Because okay, fine, when you are playing well, everybody wants to know you. But when you are not playing, if you can get 50% of what you are playing at that time, I feel that you have achieved something in life. Otherwise, playing 20 years, people not talking about you, talking not good things about you, I think you haven't achieved anything. So that is my personal view.
I think the message is very clear to all the students. Okay, so there's a very interesting question coming up. What do you think in those 30 seconds when you see someone like Holding or Marshall running towards you and your focus on the ball and the ball approaching you, what comes to your mind in those 30 seconds?
Well, it's very hard to explain what comes in the mind, but I mean, see the fast ball is very ferocious, so it always says that, you know, like, okay, I mean, the ball is going to come very quick, so you have to be prepared all the time. By the time you realize, and by the time you blink, the ball is on you. So that's the only thing you can think, you know, but the reaction time is very less. So I think when we practice a lot, I mean, over a period of time, you tend to know. I mean, the only thing is that you have to go in front or back. There are only two things in batting, front or back. You have to pick the line of the ball very quickly. So those are the things which go in your mind, you know, because when you see Holding, you know, they're very good fast bowler. I mean, luckily I played Holding only for an over, 1 over, because he was almost like retired. After that match he retired. I was just beginning and then he was just retired.
Okay. Now there's another very interesting question, and I think this relates to the students more in any case. It's a quality of a sportsman, and they want to know how do you develop this attribute, because all the matches and every time you cannot win. So a sportsman, I think, has to develop a unique quality of learning to accept and take the defeat. So what's your message on this? How to do that? Because that's very tough sometimes. Children come under stress, exam stress and other things. So how do you take that?
I think first of all, you should not take tension or pressure. Because whatever is going to happen, it will happen. Whatever is in your destiny, it will happen, whether you like it or you don't like it. But the only way you can change your destiny is by doing good things. So I think when we play, like the sportsman, it's like when you start playing, when you win and games, it becomes a part and parcel of your life. So when you know that, okay, you have played badly, but then you know that there's tomorrow we can always win the next game or maybe day after tomorrow. But I think we have to stay positive, we have to stay focused, and then we should take the good with the bad. Because I think every person cannot be successful all the time. There are times where you go through bad patches and you go through so many different things. But I think you have to stay connected, stay positive, and back yourself, which is very important. Because once you start feeling that I'm not good, can I do this? Can I not do this? Then these are the thoughts. These are not thoughts do come. But I think you must keep them away. How you can keep them away is because you think positively, think focused. I mean, you are focused like. If you have to hit the ball there, you have to hit the ball. Or if I have to solve this problem in the examination, then I have to solve it somehow, whether by hook or crook. So I think that is the most important thing. Because sometimes when you start winning and losing, it becomes a habit. It becomes like inbuilt in you. So that you know that okay, fine. Every time I can't win, but every time I can't lose also.
And last two questions. How did you get to the top, sir? I mean, you virtually ruled the Indian cricket for nearly 1 decade. So sustaining was also tough, but reaching was equally tough. How did you manage that, sir?
It was reaching the top also was very tough. But as they say, to reach the top, it's very easy. But to stay there was very tough. I think you have to have consistency in your performance. But I think if you're consistent, then only you can last long. Then you can be in the side or be a captain or whatever for a long time. Because some people have these short goals. Like when I was playing, I was working in the State Bank of India also at that point of time. Because what was happening at that time, there were so many better players than me who joined the bank also with me. But I think their focus was, okay, fine, I have got the job now, so I don't want to carry on because they were very happy to get the job. But for me, it was totally different. I joined the bank, I got the job, which was very good. But at the same time, I wanted to excel. I wanted to go beyond the bank job. So that's how I focused myself. It was not easy. It was very tough when you're in school. When your parents also. But luckily, I didn't have any pressure from my parents. They never told me that you have to do this, you have to do that. Because before they could say anything, I used to do their work, so it became very easy for me, so they couldn't say no to me. And plus my grandfather has always been there with me, so he was the one who really gave me the direction, and my uncle, my mother's younger brother, taught me the basics of the game. So that's how I worked hard on my fitness, I worked hard on my game, and every day was like it's like they say, a jiddul hai. Like I fight all the time, for batting, bowling, all those things. Because it's not very easy. You feel very difficult. At times it becomes very difficult. Okay, fine, I'm doing all these things. Why am I doing? What am I going to do? I can see the future, but whether I reach the top or not, these are all the questions which come in. But I think it's good, because there's nothing wrong in it. I mean, you should be a little bit nervous also, because once you're nervous, you can give your best. Because once you're overconfident, then that is the problem.
Last question, sir. From a left-arm medium-pace bowler and an excellent fielder, you
right arm,
so you turned to a very good batsman also, sir. I mean, this transition, was it natural or you planned it?
No, I was a batsman. Actually, I was picked as a batsman when I played for the Indian team. But I think Kapil Baji made me bowl, slow medium, which was I did bowl at times, but I think I really enjoyed my batting and my fielding, because a lot of times when I'm traveling, when I'm at the airport or anywhere, people come and say, "Sir, you are a very good fielder." So I remind them I was a good batsman too. So batting was always my forte, because I worked hard on it. So you keep improving all the time, because it's not that, my game was different when I started playing in 84, it was different in 87, it keeps changing all the time, but by the time I played my last game in 2000, it was totally different. Because from 89 to 2000, my game totally changed.
Correct. And we were watching one of your interviews before the release of movie also. So I remember when we were in college, so Mr. Azharuddin's this style of collars up, So that's a unique style which he is still carrying with him. And really suits you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. My pleasure.